Recording.
Solid.
My other headset tapped out like I think a couple months ago, and I never replaced it. I know there's a significant difference, but I'll handle that one day.
Works.
How was your 2-week hiatus?
It was good. Good. It was a week in the Boundary Waters, but I had to take off last Friday. That's why we didn't have this, or the Friday before. It was good. Good. It's fun. Kind of refreshing to get away from everything for an entire week and just focus on, what's at hand up there. So no electronic devices and no interruptions. Just, you do your thing. So,
your wife didn't interrogate you when you got back home?
No.
She didn't check your receipts and your emails and...
No. I don't want her to find out that I'm, just took a trip to Vegas all weekend. No, just kidding. No, she knows where I was going, and I had a buddy that's a mutual friend of ours with too.
So he would snitch on you anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'd like to make a trip to the DR or something, but I'm sure that won't go over well in a relationship. So I have to figure out how I'm going to frame. I'm doing charity work or I'm doing missionary work. And I'm a born again now. I feel so zealous right now.
Yeah, mission trip to the Dominican Republic. Do it up. No.
That or Colombia or I don't know. There's a couple South American countries. The only thing with South American countries, Latin America, and Mexico is you always have to make sure people don't take advantage of you. I just feel like almost everybody, I know this sounds like hella racist, but like this is my experience, especially being locked up in a bar and not being let out until they get money that they want. It's like I'm just extra sensitive now to that region of the world when it comes to like being a tourist. So like I don't know. I'm sure there may be like some third world European countries that may be similar, but my experience is like South America, Mexico, Latin America. Like you just have to be on point. You just have to be careful and not put yourself in a position where you don't have any room for people to take advantage.
Yeah, I think that's probably true of anywhere has some sort of, economic challenges or whatever, or a heavy amount of people that are in some need of desperation or whatever.
Desperation is run by cartels. They got money. They just get money by taking advantage of other people.
Yeah, but the people doing it are probably, they don't probably want to be part of the cartel or whatever, but that's probably what option they have available to them.
That's that. I wanted to retaliate so bad, but it's a cartel versus Scott Nimrod. I don't think I'll win.
So you came back to the States and started Lambda Cartel and hoped it would amount to something.
Yeah, I still want to hit them.
Steal people's monads, and
I still want to hit them up. I don't even know which cartel it was.
Funny. Yeah, I've never had that experience, but I don't really travel outside the U.S.
You should come back with me. You can have that experience.
Yeah, so, I don't think I could sell that one to the wife, for sure. So you had some news before I left, but I wasn't able to. Oh wait, you said career updates from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I had a question, but then you decided that you want to go whitewater rafting. So
canoeing, yeah.
It's basically. I thought I mentioned it to you, or it could have been other people. Like juggling 2 different contracts simultaneously, and how do you really manage that? what's the amount of time? What's the average amount of time that people do juggle the two before they finally burn out, tap out? How can you really deliver value for two different clients that possibly are in two different spaces, and the context switching that revolves around that? I took it on for a couple reasons. But the main one was like, this tech bubble is going to burst. And I felt like I needed to build in some redundancy to my revenue stream. And I don't trust the stock market to be a stream of income. Like, it's weird. I liquidated all my stocks after I lost 40%, like maybe 6 months ago. And then everything just shot up. So I sold Tesla at like $300 when I broke even. I broke even at $300. I was sitting on it for 6 months, waiting for it to get back to $300. And I broke even and I got rid of it. I sold Amazon at $1,800, right? I liquidated everything, man. I had hella military defense stocks that I thought was like recession proof. No. And then it's basically, as soon as I got rid of everything, because I decided to realize my losses and just cut it short, that's when everything just bubbled, just fights, right? I'm like, man, F you, universe. You like messing with me, man. So, and then they want me to get back in. The universe wants me to get back in, right? So that once I put my money back in, everybody withdraws, and then I lose like another like 40%. So
just don't put it in before November. So
it'll probably spike when Trump gets reelected. Anyways,
yeah, stock market's been kind to his administration, so
it doesn't make sense. You can't have 1 million people filing for unemployment every single month for the past probably 5 months, and yet stocks that have, or companies that have declared bankruptcy, like JCPenney, Hertz Car Rental, etc., they're 300, 400%. Like, that doesn't make sense. Something that's $300 in the middle of a recession now goes up to like $2,200. Like, it doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah, well, it's an artificial recession though, so you can't imagine that it would, probably play out the same.
What's an artificial recession? You talking about COVID?
Yeah.
The recession is a recession. Like,
yeah,
what's artificial about it?
But it's extenuating. This isn't a normal thing. Like, it wasn't. This is totally fabricated for the most part.
Is a war? Does a war basically produce what's the word that you use? An artificial recession?
No.
What's the difference?
But they're generally more prepared for, aren't they?
Depends on who's invading and who's defending. I don't know. I think this would be ruled an act of God, quote unquote. And I'm not sure if that could really be deemed artificial. People could say that the way that it's being managed is artificial, when by default, you die from a flu, you die from a stroke, you die from a heart attack, they'll just put on a death certificate COVID, right? You get into a gang shootout in Chicago and you catch 4 bullets in the chest, they'll stamp COVID as a cause of death. Like, that can be questioned, you know what I mean, as artificial. But I mean, unemployment is real, man. These people out here, especially in cities that are all about hospitality. So I'm sure Orlando, obviously Miami, these people, a lot of them, they focus on the service industry. Their skill set or lack of is service industry. And it's like they're out of luck.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why I'm taking on 2 different contracts, because I'm trying to build in some redundancy and not just rely on one client. I'm trying to stop saying the term employer, right? I'd rather say client. It makes me feel more bougie, and it makes me feel like as if I'm in power. Right? I took on another client versus an employer, took me on.
Now you just have to get another developer and start a firm.
All the good developers, or the people that I have a huge amount of respect for, that are either my equal or better than me, they're not interested in partnering with me.
No, I mean, you just be the only partner. You got to get young guns, basically. Train them up.
I don't have the patience.
Multiply your skill set.
I don't have the patience for that, because I feel like, I've been programming for like, I can't do the math, like 17 years, like, and I'm still refining my technique. I can't do it. I mean, like you work, you're a full-time employee. I'm sure that they probably rely on a lot of junior developers, but what is the real cost of a junior developer versus a senior developer, and an actual product that generates income? Like, I feel like you're paying more for a junior. It's weird because they're not like, I feel like, I mean, companies have to be smart, especially if they've been around for like more than 15 years. But I feel like they're not doing the math when it comes to them having like 3/4 junior and the rest like senior project engineers. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's a mixed bag. I think that there's value in people that have experience, if they're valuable in their experience. You can have people who have. I mean, I've worked with engineers who have many years of experience, and then people that have a year or less or whatever, and sometimes it's inverse opposite. I see a lot of value coming out of the junior, not any coming out of the senior. So, because it could be that sometimes you just need a wide-eyed, bushy-tailed person that'll do whatever you ask them to, because even if that means producing less quality software, because maybe it's the quality of it in the long term isn't important. Sometimes it's just the get to market and test something. So it's a mixed.
I mean, get to market, like, people judge you, right? And first impressions are like severely important. And so,
well, yeah. But I mean, software might generally work in those situations. I also see a lot of waste around, senior developers and architects sitting around and discussing things for hours on end and not just doing what needs to get done, or suggesting that you should, fix up working software because this should be cleaner or whatever. And I've been guilty of this myself, but it's sometimes those things just aren't needed. They're not really that valuable in the course of the thing. I mean, I've spent a lot of time just shifting bits around and then wasting all that time because eventually the whole thing changes anyways. So I think that there's maybe some value in out of people who don't know any better to fall into those traps. That's kind of like when you see those those kind of memes out there where it's like the beginning developers hello world, and then it's like the mid-level engineer or senior engineers hello world is like 10 different modules, whatever.
Yeah, that would be me.
And then you've got like the principal or like the super senior one who just goes back to regular old hello world. So it's I think there's something to be said about that. But yeah, I don't know. I regardless, there is definitely going to be a reckoning at some point, I would think. But I've been thinking that I thought it would be here already. Definitely I think the wages have stalled out for developers, but that's about it so far. Oh, excuse me.
I added a page for collecting their payment information for their first transaction.
Sweet.
But I haven't wired it up yet. I have to update this validation behavior. I also have to wire in this validation for it being aware of what's a valid number versus what's not, based on, I don't know if you ever saw the tweet of the code that I wrote for figuring out if a bank card number was Visa versus MasterCard versus Discover versus that. I got to plug that in.
Yeah, the first pretty much the first big project I did in my career was to work on a credit card processing system. So I'm familiar with some of those rules. There's also a rule to validate that the number itself is valid. It's like there's like a hashing algorithm. I can't remember what it's called, but you have to do a certain calculation across the number, and it'll tell you right away if the number is valid or not. Valid in terms of the number form is valid. It's got the correct number of digits and all that kind of jazz.
So like this weekend, I got to plug that stuff. Oh, it's almost there. I got to plug this into, this is my first time actually testing this. I got to plug this into the list box or the picker. So then they pick a payment method, and then they hit order. And yeah. I wonder if I can do that right now. Yeah.
It's the Loon algorithm, by the way. That's what I was thinking of. Or Loon. It's a mod 10 algorithm.
Yeah, this is hard coded to hit a server, even though I ran it in disconnected mode. So now it wants to capture funds on the person's bank card. Well, not capture, but hold funds on the person's submitted bank card. And then once the order completes, then they do a capture. But I haven't really had that much time, man. Or maybe I should reframe that. I haven't really made much time to work on this consistently every day. I've been working on quote unquote a high priority project that seems to be high priority, like maybe 3 days out the week. And then when I need somebody, it's not that much priority. How do I do this? Am I still sharing my screen?
Yeah.
Stop.
There you go.
So that's been keeping me occupied. And I'm trying to increase my fitness regimen. That's hard to do. I feel like I asked you, you work out?
No, not really. I have in the past, but I think I stopped a couple years ago because I was on some medication that caused everything to hurt. So,
Okay.
And I just haven't gotten back in the groove of it.
So what, you just maintain a decent diet, and that's why you're not like diabetic?
No, but I drink a lot of beer and stuff, so I don't know. Maybe it's genetics, but I don't go too overboard. Maybe I just get satiated faster. I don't know, but I'm definitely higher than I should be right now. So I should be sitting at like a good 180 probably, but I'm at like 210, 215 right now. So
How tall are you?
5'11". So
No.
I'm kind of pudgy.
You know, Tyson's 5'10", 220, right?
Hmm?
Mike Tyson's 5'10", 220
Probably all
during
muscle.
his prime. Well, it wasn't probably.
Yeah. Yeah, all muscle. Yeah.
That dude was built like a pit bull.
Yeah.
By the way, he's going to murder Roy Jones. I don't know if you've been up to date on boxing or if you even care about that stuff. But you know who Roy Jones is? Oh, wow. Okay.
Educate me.
Roy Jones used to be a pound for pound light heavyweight champion of the world for a while. He's one of those people. He was a superstar. So there's a difference between a star champion versus a superstar champion. Like superstars don't lose, and they make stars look like amateurs. And so your Mike Tyson was a superstar. Your Roy Jones was a superstar. Your Felix Trinidad. Your De La Hoya. Your Sugar Ray Robinson. Your Hagler or whatever. Like those are superstars. Anyway, so they're both pushing 50. Well, I think Tyson's like 54. Roy Jones is 50 or something like that. But anyway, they have an exhibition match. And so these are two of the greatest fighters of the world during the 90s that are getting in the ring together. The thing is Tyson's been showing clips of his training. It's really hard to tell that he's slowed down. Like he's just, then again, he's probably taking like hormone or testosterone replacement. But he looks good in training. Like I wouldn't fight him unless I had a shank. So yeah.
Cool. The other guy not doing so much.
There's no clips of him training.
He doesn't want to let it go, or doesn't want to let people on. Come out all powerful.
He's, majority of ex-athletes are just broke and bankrupt. So he just probably wants to collect his money and just be done with it for another like 12 months until he needs to hustle again. I mean, that's my guess. But no, I haven't really seen anything hyped on his side.
Gotcha. Yeah, most professional sports, boxing included, I don't really follow. So
yeah,
esports now though. Watch League of Legends like a hawk, but
who's your favorite elite?
My favorite elite athlete? No, I don't know. I have a few that I like. The team I'm rooting for is called FlyQuest. They are owned by the Milwaukee Bucks, the same organization as the Milwaukee Bucks. But they've done exceptionally well this year, and I picked them out by chance because they. One of the things about this particular.
How do you own video game players? Really?
Yeah, they're a team. I mean, they're a professional team. Just like you'd have a baseball team or a basketball team. They've got rosters and under basically people that are in there.
Are they American or are they a coalition of the willing? Or are they Asian? What are they?
So they're all in North America, the North American League. They're all U.S. based, obviously, because everything's actually in Los Angeles, which is what I was saying is it's hard to know who to root for because there isn't any geographic tie for at least the League of Legends teams. I think other esports are different, but they have U.S. and Canadian players, and then they have what they call imports, so Korean and European players that have been paid a lot of money to come over and join teams in the U.S. So former world champions or people that have made it to world championships. So so the team I follow, like I said, FlyQuest, they're owned by the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they've got a Canadian, a U.S., a Korean, a Danish, and I don't know where Power of Evil was their mid laner. I don't know where he's from. But they've got kind of that layout. And then other teams are just kind of a mix of, a lot of the North American stuff is a mix of Asian or like Korean and European players, like a lot of imported people, because they don't feel like people, I don't know if we just haven't developed the talent here as much as in those countries or what, but North America in general hasn't done exceptional on the world stage. So, but a team in Europe that I follow they made it to Worlds last year. They're G2 Esports. They're really good. And they're all, European players. So, but yeah, it's a pretty big deal. But my favorite player, I don't know, might be maybe in the U.S. or the North America side is maybe Ignar, who's on FlyQuest. He's a support character, which is the role I play. Although I really like Solo, who's their top laner, and another team, Core JJ and Broxa are really awesome. So there's a bunch of players I'm fans of. There's teams I don't like too. So, but like I said, League of Legends, they do it where everybody's basically in Los Angeles in the same place. So there's no geographic ties. So it's you like, who do I root for here? So it's just whatever kind of jives with you. And when the season started and I started getting into this, FlyQuest is like ranked at the dead bottom. So I'm like, I'm going to root for that team. And then sure enough, they had just a stellar season. So they're going to the world stage. They locked that in. Pretty awesome for their relatively small organization compared to the other ones that they're fighting up against. So, and they got really, really cool campaigns, marketing campaigns and stuff. So they had this thing called Tree Quest where they were planting trees based on how their performance was in games. And this year they're doing, or this split, they're doing Sequest, which is they're giving money to the Coral Reef Foundation or something like that for every thing. So, but unlike, like I said, Call of Duty, though, I think those are actually geographic based teams, but they're not nearly as popular. So, like Minnesota has a team now that's a sub of the Vikings, I think, or owned by the same organization as the Vikings. So it's pretty sweet. It's picking up. There's potentially a lot of money to be made in the esports arena as it picks up here because it's growing rapidly. I'm trying to figure out how to tap into that. haven't found a way to where I could have purpose or deliver something in that space. So,
are you still entertaining opportunities for software development?
Sort of, yeah. I don't know.
That didn't sound confident.
I'm not confident. I'm stuck in this place where I think the jobs that I want, I'm not going to be able to get, at least not without really just hustling for the next few months and just proving that I can do certain things or whatever. And the ones that I can get, I don't want. I don't want to do the same corporate developer BS stuff again. I don't want to do it.
Amen.
Like, the thought of it just keeps me up at night.
I wonder if they have classes for used car salesmen, like training.
Yeah, I want to just go sell hamburgers, man.
No. To be an architect, right? To get more positions for architect, because all you gotta do is like just talk BS to people.
Oh yeah.
So
sales.
I gotta look for like used car salesman training, so that I could be able to convince HR to submit me for architectural roles or architect roles.
I want to work at a company where there isn't an HR yet. Like work with a startup or something would be fun. But I don't know. I want to work on something that's, I don't know, maybe more meaningful to me too, where I'm not just in it for the paycheck, but I don't care about the material or the actual thing we're doing. So like right now I work in the manufacturing space and it's cool, but I'm never really going to use these guys for anything. I'm not a customer. I'm not like personally aligned with manufacturing rapidly things.
I would like to work in aerospace or aviation, preferably aerospace. But like, I just don't want to relocate. Like, so for example, I don't want to relocate to Cape Canaveral, where NASA is, and I'm almost positive I'll burn out if I work for Tesla. So
SpaceX.
Heard, yeah. I heard Tesla, man. They work people like Hebrew slaves. So I don't think I have it in me to handle that load.
Never heard that idiom before. Like, work them like Hebrew slaves. I watched the 10 Commandments. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, what was I about to say? Do I have an accent?
No. Not that I can.
I didn't think so. I have this debate with people too often. So
you might have a little bit of you don't really even have a. Yeah, no, I can't really recognize. How do you? So like I have a slight accent, I think, and you hear it when you say certain words, like bag, not bag.
Oh, I thought you said BEG, like a panic.
Bag. Well, like so we pronounce A's differently, I think, in Minnesota. So like, well, not everyone, but bag, we draw out the A a little bit more. So instead of saying bag, it's kind of the A.
Well, people make fun of me when I say dial, rough. What else do I keep on having to repeat myself?
Or like Canadians will say,
a boat,
a boot,
yeah.
A boot, and stuff like that. So.
No, I've been trying. Like, I'm from the Midwest. We don't have accents. I would say people from the Midwest and people in probably like California, Arizona.
Well, we don't have accents to people in the Midwest, but we probably have accents to people in the South and to Cali.
No, because I would argue Californians don't have accents, right? They don't.
Yeah, unless they're Valley.
They have a hippie vibe to them, but no, it's the Southern bumpkins and East Coast. I think the strongest accents are people from Boston, man. Like I was watching like a fitness video, and the personal trainer was from Boston, and it was entertaining just listening to him. Like it's just weird. But I thought Boston was like the size of Cleveland. Like, well, I guess it makes sense if people never leave that town, and most of their ancestors are from there. Like,
New Yorkers have accents too.
Yeah, but they have accents. It is thick, but I feel like Boston accents are just entertaining to me. Like New York, right? But Boston is just very, very different. Like the thing is there's so many New Yorkers that, okay, they have accents, but it's like freaking 30 million of them. So it's not that profound. But like people in Boston, like I forgot what word. Like, okay, you know how like they say hamburger.
Yeah.
Hamburger. Like they
yeah. No, you mock. You just gotta go watch the Whataburger.
Hey, you're pretty good. You must have like family or friends there.
No, it's just you can just watch any Boston show with Boston people in it. They have a pretty thick accent.
So, have you ever been there?
Yeah, we went to Boston a few years ago.
Hopefully, you didn't have to drive through there.
I drove.
You didn't. You didn't
Other
get
than
caught up in
people,
the rotaries.
huh?
You didn't get caught up in the rotaries, the little circular streets.
Oh no. I got honked at plenty of times because they have no patience for people who are like timid about driving. It's like go or they'll honk at you. But no, we drove through there. It was just fine. Everyone said don't, just take the tram or the subway or whatever the heck it was through and take that to downtown and then go out. But the parking was nuts though. That was like expensive as all hell. Like $20 an hour or something to park. Stupid thing.
Yeah, that's retarded. Those are like New York prices or something.
Yeah, it was nuts. But
F that. That's like Dubai prices. Yeah.
yeah, but it was a cool city. We walked downtown for a while while we were there. It was fun.
How do you manage road rage, or you don't deal with it?
I don't really get upset. I don't really usually have people upset with me. I mean, occasionally, but I tend to not want to like ride people or whatever. Who knows? Who knows what they're packing? So
You don't have a vest?
no,
I had a vest.
I don't even own a gun. I
I
probably
don't
should.
need- No, I don't want a gun. So I feel like there's way more opportunities for my life to be destroyed than there are for my life to be saved. So I just rather not have a gun. All else fails, I'll just do an OJ and go to the kitchen, grab some butcher knives, and just charge Banzai style. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we've got some pepper spray type things in case we do. I do have a BB gun, actually pretty powerful pellet gun rather. But I thought, well, maybe if I grabbed that, people would be deterred. But if there was like a home invasion type situation, but I'm sure, I don't know. I'm mostly worried about people on meth. If people get desperate and do home invasions or whatever. We don't really have much of that around here, but the idea, well, we have a lot of meth because that's just what people do, I guess. So
I don't understand when people. It's weird. So harsh drugs like that, the consequences. I'm sure people can make arguments and say, "Oh, that's the media. It's not really like that." Okay,
no, it's like
you know the consequences, and basically, when you decide to light up anyway, you're basically saying the contract. You're basically putting your signature on the contract, saying, "Yes, I understand the consequences of the actions that I'm about to engage in, and that yes, I'm okay with more than likely being hooked on this for the rest of my life. Yes, I understand that I'll probably end up begging my family members and breaking into my cousins' houses to steal watches and I don't know, miscellaneous items so I can go to the pawn shop. Signature, sign here. Like I don't understand why people do that. Like for some reason, I don't understand why people like smoke cigarettes and they were born after like 1970. Like you know what's going to happen. You know what you're going to struggle with. You know you're going to struggle with it.
yeah.
And they still say, like, I don't understand that logic, man.
Yeah. Well, the cigarettes thing probably started off as a social stuff, but then once you get the social bits out, it takes off. But a lot of people aren't smoking anymore, though. It's so expensive, and I bought a pipe and smoked a pipe when I was up in the Boundary Waters, tobacco pipe.
Oh, you talking about hookah, or like you went to actual smoke shop and bought a pipe?
Smoke shop and buy a pipe, not a hookah, not a glass pipe or anything, like a classic wooden pipe. So
I do hookah. And my lungs are so sensitive to it that I get a buzz just like that. But I mean, I probably do hookah like maybe quarterly throughout the year.
yeah,
But I just don't understand how people just
same Roman.
like
Smoking is fun when you're drinking for some reason.
You keep waking up every single morning. Sooner or later, you're going to be in your 30s. You keep waking up every single morning. Sooner or later, you're going to be middle aged. Like the stuff, it's going to catch up with you. Like
Yeah.
life doesn't pause. Like the decisions that you make, they carry over, man. I just don't
Yeah.
understand why people don't get that.
Some of the hard drugs, though, might be people self-medicating, though, and that's a lot of alcohol abuse is just self-medication. A lot of reason why people want pot legal is self-medication, probably.
Roman,
Yeah.
sorry. Roman only smokes cigarettes when he's very drunken. Where are you from, Roman? What's your native language? I'm interested.
No, I just agreed with him too. Like, there's something about smoking when you're drinking a lot for some reason. Same kind of thing. Maybe it's just the desire or the your willpower to say no, or I don't know. There's something weird about it. So
Switzerland. Ah, okay. That's what's up. I don't think I know anybody in Switzerland. I'd like to. Would you go to Switzerland?
me,
Yeah.
I
They're not really known for
not go. I don't have any like inclination to go.
Well, they got hot girls out there.
Well, I got a wife, so
Oh, yeah.
maybe if I was single, I'd be all over Switzerland. Actually, I'd probably go to Eastern Europe if I was single and looking for a lady.
I would like hang out in Moscow, but I'm scared of being poisoned and being poisoned first and then accused second of being a United States spy.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Poland. I think one day. I think Poland would be really cool to visit.
Moscow. I dated a Russian chick before. She had a very thick accent. So anyway, probably was the only Russian girl that wasn't a racist in Miami. You need to hang out in Miami.
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe after COVID's all done. I'll get my beach body all ready and then come down to Miami. And then you can show me where to buy the best Cubano sandwich I've ever had.
I'm not really that much into
No?
food all like that.
Oh.
I mean, I could take you to a spot that I eat Cuban sandwiches. I don't know if it's the best though, but they have off days where I think their meat is like past due or something.
Oh.
It just doesn't taste right. I do remember that happening one time where it just didn't taste right.
Yeah.
But so after your 2 weeks, did you develop any inspiration for returning back to home and having a new focus in life or recalibrating your purpose?
I did when I was up there. I'm like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be like this. And as soon as I got back into everything this week, it was just
the wife and kids. You're like, all right, whatever.
No, it's more just sitting in the chair. We're trying to work all day. It wasn't, when I came back, it was on a Saturday, and Sunday, I was feeling good. Everything was awesome. And that's, with family and kids, whatever. Then Monday hits and you got to go to work, get up unnaturally early. And I don't know. I'm completely unengaged and have absolutely I've been completely unengaged and have no desire to work on it anymore. I should just leave. And then try to find something after, but
I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, unless you just got money in the bank, then yeah, do whatever. But
yeah, I mean, I've got probably a year's worth of salary
as a full-time employee. That's probably different. Like I wouldn't just quit a job unless I had $80,000 to just liquidate just like that.
Yeah, I'm well, and my cost of living is considerably lower, and my wife works too, but I have that, so I definitely could manage that for
Well,
a while.
I mean, you could just like sell drugs while you're looking for your next tech job. Just sell crack or marijuana.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could even become a meth manufacturer. So.
There you go. You buy a little camper.
Oh, I got one of those. I got a camper. I'm gonna just hook it all up.
Yeah. Then they can start calling you the chef. That could be your alias, the chef.
I swear I'm just selling hamburgers, man. Leave me alone. No.
You don't do crystal. You do crystal. Like, I don't think I could be a drug dealer. I'll be gunned down too quickly because I'm still competitive. Like, I'll treat it like a video game. Like, I have to win. Like, Valentine's Day massacre style. Like, I'll just be setting people up. Like, I played so much Vice City, man, back in the day. I don't think I would succeed. I'll have manhunts by the police trying to catch me.
Yeah, I don't think I could sell meth. My brother-in-law did back in the day, meth and pot, I think, but he got caught and then he went into like a rehabilitation or like it's called a teen challenge. It's like a religious, I don't know what you call them, rehabilitation or whatever program or whatnot. And he got out the other side, and him and my sister-in-law, got married, and they have kids now, and we hang out with him a lot. And so he was pretty successful. Then he had his, I think he got his voting rights restored now too. But he got off parole this last year after like 10 years or something like that. So long time.
That must have been really hard to do.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, I guess. He was balling the day that he got the letter saying that, okay, you're no longer on parole and your voting rights are restored and some of these other things. He still can't own a gun though, but he would do hunting, but he does bow hunting, which is still legal for him. So
What made him turn around his life?
I don't know. Probably my sister-in-law and that. I don't.
Nah, I don't think people turn around their lives for women.
Yeah, well, they were in it kind of together, and he kind of took all of the blame for it.
Oh,
and so she got off scot-free, but the I don't know. It might have been the program he was in, or I don't know. He had a kind of a messed up childhood or whatever too. So a lot of that was just trying to compensate for all the crap that went wrong. Like he had a friend who got shot right in front of him and all this kind of stuff. So crap that shouldn't really happen, but does.
yeah. How do I frame this so I don't sound crazy? So we're mammals, okay? And
Sounds crazy.
I feel like we're still animals. We just have dominion over this planet, right? So we have this whole notion of PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
post-traumatic
stress disorder,
or street disorder, whatever you want to call it. And it's real, right? And your brain is hella complicated. It's not like a technology stack that has like these different abstractions. Like it doesn't fit the same model, right? I'm sure it has abstractions, but it doesn't fit like operating system and then software on top, and then I don't know, patches on top of that. No. But what I will say is, wouldn't all animals that are not apex predators have PTSD in the wild? I mean, don't they all get chased and watch their like siblings or their parents get mauled to death by a lion or by I don't know, stomped to death by a wildebeest or a bison? Like,
I guess it probably depends on the level of higher order thinking or whatever. You can definitely see it in dogs, right? When dogs are mistreated, not in natural spaces, but well, even if they're just left alone and abandoned, dogs exhibit traits where if they have
Well, they get depressed.
yeah, and if they get beaten and used for fighting and stuff like that, you can it's something that gets ingrained to them. They won't trust humans. They'll be afraid all the time. They might just randomly lash out too, if they're not well trained or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think my dog is on the spectrum, like, but I don't know how to prove it though.
Well, aren't they all like dog? So was it? I read this book called Play. They talked about the difference between dogs and wolves. Wolves and dogs are the same when they're puppies. They're playful and whatever, but basically when when wolves grow up, they mature into a different mindset, or they have a different set of things that come in, but dogs never achieve that. So they stay in that puppy phase their entire lives. So they're basically like they're basically just growth stunted wolves.
Well, I
And
mean,
mental growth.
are we talking about dogs that are not domesticated? Or are we talking about like feral dogs, like dingoes or wild African dogs?
Dogs in general. I mean, well, yeah, like domesticated animals, dogs that have grown up around people, not wolves or feral dogs or um, dingo babies. So, but yeah, they never lose their playfulness of being a puppy. So they never grow up to be wolves like wolves do. So
I
it's
think that
weird.
makes sense.
Yeah, it'd be like if you just like you had a kid and they just never grew up, like to
I
have
mean,
responsibilities.
my dog, I don't even know how old my dog is now. Maybe she's like 7 or something. I don't know. But I mean, if she hasn't seen me for a while, she'll start running laps around the house or on the beach, or she'll just go ape, um, just out of excitement. And yeah, she acts like a little kid. It's weird. I think my dog thinks she's a human though. But
Yeah,
I would
dogs all have
spoon,
personalities, but yeah,
I would spoon with her when I would go to bed. And she'll like wake me up in the middle of the night and hop in bed and fall asleep with me. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know, rabbits and small, badger. I don't know if they'd have PTSD. It's probably just part of their world. They're they're a prey to certain things. They're a predator to other things.
Well, I mean, I think like dogs you can train. And I mean, I'm not sure if dogs have the ability to think that something's funny, but I mean, they experience fear, they experience happiness. Um, it's hard to tell. Well, I mean, dogs have like, I don't know if they really have facial expressions, but like you know when they're happy, you know when they're scared. But other animals, it's not as easy to tell, and they probably just lack the muscle or tissue ability to express themselves. So
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
cats have a certain amount of that
yeah,
capability.
cats are worthless.
Yeah, we've got a cat now. We're trying to have it be a mouser to kill mice and stuff. But
How's that working out?
we haven't not he hasn't killed any yet. But we haven't really had him out in the places where we want him to kill them very much. So we'll get there hopefully. We named him Murder Death Killer.
How about just getting an exterminator?
Well, we could have done that too, but I don't know.
All right, you're gonna have a dead mouse laying on your pillowcase when you get ready to go to bed.
No, he's not going to be. Our dog basically will try to kill him. So he's tried to kill him twice already, almost succeeded twice. But I don't think now that he's grown up, not a kitten anymore. I'm sure that my dog, if you would attack him, would get this his face scratched up pretty bad. So
My dog will welcome any burglar inside my home. and lick them. But if I were to start like fighting or something, my dog would jump in. I remember like horse playing with my ex, and my dog jumped in and bit her.
Oh, really?
Good job.
Hey,
Yeah, my dog loves me.
cool.
That's it. It's 8:30.
Yep.
This weekend I plan on dedicating like maybe 6 hours to the project. Nah, more than that. Nah, 6 hours to the project, and I guess we'll catch up Friday or something.
Sounds good.
All right, Sean, it's been real. Oh, you're not sore?
Sore?
You're doing this
No.
motion.
No, my shoulder got a little sore when I was out there. But otherwise it's therapeutic. This is the first time I ever portaged the canoe, which is, I mean, they're not super heavy because they're canvas canoes, or not canvas, Kevlar canoes. But then we also had a pack that I had to carry, so it was pretty heavy and annoying. But I don't know. That's all the part of it is, when you get done doing those kinds of things, you just feel good for whatever reason. The endurance it all sucks while you're doing it, but the payoff is good. So, yeah, felt amazing after it was done. Wish I could stay out for a month, 2 months, maybe just spend the rest of my life up there and not do any software development ever again.
I can understand that.
So,
all right, well, it's been real. And Roman, I don't know if Roman is still watching this or not. I'm curious, what is the ideal language for engineering? Is it really English? Is it German, or is it Russian? I heard like physics fits better in Russian, but I don't know if Roman speaks any other languages. I know you just speak English, right?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't speak Icelandic or anything like that.
No, I took some sign language in high school, but I don't remember any of it. So,
Yeah.
Other than the alphabet.
All right. Well, it's been real. We'll catch up.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Looks like it's just in time. Oh, he's there. All right. Well, see you. Bye. I don't know. I'm using English mostly just because IT is so English centric. Even in Germany or Russia, well, you said you're in Switzerland, so I guess you wouldn't know. I don't know. Is English really that dominant that building systems is common in a foreign language? That's the part that's, I don't know, I guess I just take for granted as an English speaker. All right, have a nice weekend. See you. And I'll hang around for another 10 seconds if you're typing, which it doesn't tell me if you're typing or not, so I don't know. But just another 5 seconds, I'll just hang up. Well, it says that I have one viewer, so that has to be you. I don't know. 3, 2, else you could just message me on Twitter or something. And I am hanging up now.